Hey guys, it's Daniel. Welcome back.
The following is from Keith Richards' biography, Life. If you would like to see my interview with Rolling Stones recording engineer Tapani Tallo, where he talks about the making of It's Only Rock and Roll, stories about Mick Taylor, Keith Richards, Mick Jagger, and more, the link is available below. As per the Keith Richards quote, here it is. Quote, Mick Taylor being in the band on that 69 tour certainly sealed the Stones together again. So we did Sticky Fingers with him, and the music changed almost unconsciously. You write with Mick Taylor in mind, maybe without realizing it, knowing he can come up with something different. You've got to give him something he'll really enjoy. So you keep looking for ways. Hopefully, turning the musicians on translates into turning the audience on. Some of the Sticky Fingers compositions were rooted in the fact that I knew Taylor was going to pull something great. By the time we got back to England, we had Sugar, we had Wild Horses, and You Gotta Move. The rest we recorded at Mick's house, Stargroves, on our new Mighty Mobile recording studio, and some at Olympic Studios in March and April of 1970. Can't You Hear Me Knocking came out flying. I just found the tuning and the riff and started to swing it, and Charlie picked up on it just like that, and we're thinking, hey, this is some groove. So it was smiles all around. For a guitar player, it's no big deal to play. The chopping, staccato bursts of chords, very direct and spare. Marianne had a lot to do with Sister Morphine. I know Mick's writing, and he was living with Marianne at the time, and I know from the style of it there were a few Marianne lines in there. Moonlight Mile was all Mick's. As far as I can remember, Mick came in with the whole idea of that, and the band just figured out how to play it. And Mick can write. It's unbelievable how prolific he was. The odd times he would come out with so many lyrics, you're crowding the airwaves, boy. I'm not complaining. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do. It's not like writing poetry or just writing down lyrics. It's got to have a fit to what's already been created. That's what a lyricist is. A guy that has been given a piece of music and then sets up how the vocals are going to go. And Mick is brilliant at that. Around now, we started to gather musicians to play on tracks, the so-called super sidemen, some of whom are still around. Nicky Hopkins had been there almost since the beginning. Ry Cooder had come and almost gone. On Sticky Fingers, we linked up again with Bobby Keys, the great Texan saxophone player, and his partner Jim Price. We'd met Bobby very briefly, the first time since our first US tour, at Elektra Studios, when he was recording with Delaney and Bonnie. Jimmy Miller was working there on Let It Be and called Bobby in to play a solo on Live With Me. The track was just raw, straight ahead, balls to the walls rock and roll, tailor-made for Bobby. A long collaboration was born. He and Price put some horns on the end of Honky Tonk Woman, but they're mixed down so low you can only hear them in the very last second and a half on the fade. Chuck Berry had a saxophone just at the end of Roll Over Beethoven. We love that idea of having another instrument coming in just for the last second. Keys and Price came over to England to play some sessions with Clapton and George Harrison, and Mick bumped into them in a nightclub. So it was get 'em while they're here. They were a hot section, and Mick felt that we needed a horn section, and it was all right with me. The Texan Bulldog gave me a look. We've played before, he Texaned. We have? Where? San Antonio Teen Fair. Oh, you were there? That's right. Then and there I said, screw it, and let's rock. A huge warm grin and a handshake to crush a rock. That was the session in December of '69 when Bobby blew his stuff on Brown Sugar. As much a blast for the times as anything else on the airwaves.